Hello friends, it's Miss Greenhouse here. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a pinch pot animal. A pinch pot is just a bowl that you've made out of clay, and then you're going to add features to it to make it an animal. This is a frog with the pinch pot opening facing out. You could also take your pinch pot and flip it upside down. This is a bird. You can also keep your pinch pot up like a cup. This is a giraffe. So whichever way you want to turn your pinch pot, you're going to think about what animal you want to make and how you want to turn your pinch pot. Snail. I've got two pigs. One, the pinch pot is turned upside down. And then this one, the pinch pot is facing up. Both really cute. Cat. Cookie Monster. Okay, so the supplies you're going to need are a placemat, a piece of clay, a wooden skewer, and a little cup of water. The first step is you're going to remove a portion of the clay. So you have a small part and a larger part. This part we're going to use first to make our pinch pot. So I'm going to take this piece and set it to the side. Now I'm going to use my hands to turn this into a ball. As you know, when you're using clay, the more you play with it, the drier it gets and the more cracks you end up with. So we want to put our hands on it as little as possible while still making the piece of art, which means we don't want to be messing with it or playing with it more than we have to. All right. I'm pretty happy with this ball or this sphere. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm not too worried about these cracks. Then I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to push it down inside the ball like a drill. See how I'm turning the clay? And I'm going to go until I almost push through, but not all the way. That's the beginning of my pinch pot. Then I'm going to pinch, put my thumb all the way back down in there again, and pinch like this, moving around. Turning the bowl, not pinching the top too much. Just pinching, pinching, pinching. Tap. I'm going to tap the bottom here. Do a little bit more at the top. You do not want this top edge to get too thin. And you want your walls, the walls of the pinch pot are the sides of the pinch pot. You want the walls to be evenly pinched out. All right, I'm very happy with this, and I'm not too concerned about these cracks. If you get cracks, you can take a tiny bit of water and smooth the cracks out. You are not going to use a lot of water. That can make it just as bad as if it's too dry. If it gets too wet, it will also fall apart. So you want to be really cautious with the amount of water you use. Okay, now I think I'm going to make the frog. So I'm going to turn my pinch pot to the side, tap it down so that this bottom part is where it rests. Okay, now this is for the features. So if you need a tail or eyes, nose, whatever you need. I'm going to take this piece of clay and I'm going to break it into two parts equally. I'm going to make two new balls. Okay, I'm going to put those on top of there. Now, if I just press those on there and left them without scoring and slipping, which is like the clay glue, then when these went in the kiln or the clay oven, these would just fall off. So they are not really attached yet. What I have to do is score where I want these to go with my stick, which is making some marks in one direction and then making some other marks in another direction and making it kind of like Velcro. Okay, that side's ready. I'm going to take a little tiny bit of water. So that's score and the water is slip. We're adding that to make kind of a glue. And I'm going to do it on this other side of this. I'm going to score. And if you don't do this on both sides, your eye or your nose or whatever you're putting on there could fall off. Add a little water for the slip. I'm going to support underneath here and wiggle that on and push, push, push. Okay, that is now secure on there. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. All right, push it down, push, push, push. Okay, now I just want a little pupil in here, so I'm going to use the back of my dowel and poke an eye. Now you're going to use your creativity and your imagination to create whatever you want. You can take from one of my examples some ideas or make up your own. Let's add a tongue. I'm going to take another piece of clay. If you don't use all of your clay, I'll collect it and recycle it for another student. So it's okay if you don't end up using all of your extra clay. All right, this is going to be my tongue. I've rolled it into a little bit of a cylinder, and then I'm going to smash it down. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, if I tried to score and slip it and attach it out here, what do you think would happen? Even with a really good score and slip, it's going to fall off. This needs to be supported. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score and slip inside here, score and slip the back of this, and put it way back here to attach it. It's going to be supported there. You also don't want to make things really skinny. Like if you had a tail, like skinny like this, you tried to attach it like this, that's not, even if you scored and slipped it, that's not going to stay on. You probably want to do your tail where it is a little bit more supported by the clay. Okay, let's score and slip. Press that down, press, press, press. Maybe give it a little dent in there. Okay, I'm super happy with this. So I'm finished with my pinch pot animal. I'm going to flip it over, holding it carefully, and then I'm going to put my initials and my class code really nice and large on there so it's easy to read. After you get your initials and your class code, you're going to want to look for cracks and smooth them out. If your clay is wet enough, you really don't need to add extra water. You can just smooth them out with your finger. This will have to dry, air dry for a few days. Then we will put it in the kiln and fire it. And then when it comes out of the kiln, we will paint a glaze on it. These have been painted with glaze. This is what makes them so shiny. And then we'll have to fire them again. So this is a little bit of a process. It takes a couple of weeks to get these fired the first time. And then we will glaze them, and then we will fire them again. So have fun making your pinch pot today. I can't wait to see what you create. Bye.